Hey everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the... Nope, I almost said the Geek League. Hey everybody, welcome to this week's episode of the Longbox Guys. With me as always is some of my very favorite people since I was a very little kid. Mike Manning, how you doing and what are you drinking?
I am doing excellent tonight, and I am drinking an A&W root beer because I still have not replenished the funny yet.
Got to replenish the funny, man. Josh, how you doing and what are you drinking today?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good, and I'm drinking a beer called Day Glow Vibes.
Oh, it's the green screen's making it hard to see, but there we go.
It's a very nice double IPA from a lovely brewery in Maine called Mast Landing.
Mast Landing, all right. Tommy, what are you drinking tonight?
I am drinking some Suntory whiskey.
Ooh, Suntory.
Suntory.
What was the tagline from the movie for Suntory? Do you remember?
Isn't it like happiness or something like that? Suntory.
Happiness.
No. It's
Suntory, the whiskey of choice. No, I can't remember, but it was a.
It's something time. It's Santori time.
Yes. That's close enough.
Hippopotamus time. It's Santori time.
Yeah.
I think that Mike. I think you got it.
It's strange time. It's Suntory time.
Oh, clap, 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 leading us in with a very nice hook. Very good segue. Tom, why did you say strange time?
Because tonight we're talking about Adam Strange.
Ooh, Adam Strange, the man, the myth, the legend, Golden Age hero who easily made the jump over. Mike, would you like to give us a little bit of background on Adam Strange?
Wait.
Sure.
I was on Tom's family tree. I talking about your abusive uncle. All I've been reading is. Wait, we're talking about a comic book character?
Hey,
I'm so confused.
Nobody dissed my Uncle Touchy. Don't make me sing. Can I sing the song? Uncle Touchy.
No.
Yes.
It was a playground.
And
You'll laugh and cry with your shirt off.
At your family reunions.
Yeah.
Uncle Touchy's naked playground.
All right. So, yeah, we're talking about Adam Strange. I do have to correct you, though. He was not a Golden Age hero. He was a Silver Age hero, created in 1958 by Julie Schwartz and Murphy Anderson. Julie Schwartz was the editor and went over to two different comic book writers. Is like, hey, I want Space Hero. I want one set in modern times, and I want one set in the future. And one guy was like, all right, I'll do the future. And Julie Schwartz was like, fine, this will be easy because I'll take the present day. I got a perfect plan. And that's how Adam Strange was created. And Space Ranger was also created at the same time because 1958, space race. Got to start talking about space. It's the atomic age, for gosh sakes. Right. Anyway, the story behind Adam Strange in the comic books is he is an archaeologist, the cool kind like Indiana Jones, and he's out archaeologing when a zeta beam from the planet Rand rams into him and sends him flying across the galaxy. The super brilliant scientist did not realize it was a transportation mechanism. He thought it was going to be a signal communication that would allow people to follow the beam back to his.
I'm calling bullshit on that one. Rand needed women. That's actually part of the comic book lore. That
Rand needed men.
Yes, Rand needed sexual partners because they were running out of sperm. I think he knew what he was doing all along. I'm just going to throw that out there. Sorry, go on.
So yes, Adam Strange is very interesting. There was two titles out at the same time, Mystery in Space and Strange Adventures. Strange Adventures starred Captain Comet, the Man of Tomorrow, and Mystery in Space starred Adam Strange. Although Adam Strange first appears in Showcase number 17, he gets a little 3-issue run in Showcase, and from there he jumps over to take the lead in Mystery in Space, which is actually a sci-fi anthology. He's just one of the stories that they throw into it. And every episode, or every issue, I should say, he gets he's on Earth somewhere looking for the Zeta Beam. The Zeta Beam hits him. He goes over to Rand. He has an adventure. And then at the very end, the Zeta Beam wears off. He gets transported back to Earth. The scientist, whatever the hell his name is.
Zardoth.
Sure. The scientist Zardoff has a daughter, Alana Strange. Well, it's Alana to begin with, then eventually it becomes Alana Strange. Although I've heard it mispronounced, Elena Strange, in different places also. So she is the Princess of Rand, depending on which book you're reading. The adventures are all kind of silly. There's nothing, it's all the white savior coming in to help. He's always using, Rand had undergone a bunch of nuclear wars. So they've got all this technology they don't know how to use, even though they can transport somebody from Alpha to Alpha Centauri. But sure, whatever. He becomes equipped with a bunch of cool items, including a spacesuit that allows him to breathe in outer space. It totally seals up. And more importantly, he's got the fucking jetpack. Yeah, years before the Rocketeer, we've got Adam Strange with his jetpack, and that helmet is how he turns and navigates because of the little wind shear he's got on the top.
No matter how deep in space he is, that wind shear helps him to navigate.
That's right.
Gotcha.
Josh, come on, that must make you nuts. Come on, buddy.
But he also has a ray gun.
He does have a ray gun, and the ray gun's pretty damn important to Adam Strange.
Yeah.
Because he is the savior of Rand. He is constantly fending off alien invasions from the planet, along with hostile natives on the planet, etc. He has they mention him in Justice League of America, which is kind of a big deal back in the day. If you get named in Justice League of America, that means, oh, maybe he's going to be one of the main heroes of the DC universe, but he turns down the Justice League. No. His love is on Rand, and he has to be there whenever he can. Mm-hmm. So he has an adventure where the Justice League fights Kanjar Row, who is a major Justice League villain after that, although he started off as one of Adam Strange's villains. And not a lot of other stuff happens to him until the 90s, when he gets kind of bumped into Rebels after Legion shutters its doors. They come up with Rebels. Vril Dox recruits Adam Strange to be on that team. Then moving on later on, there is the series, which I'm sure LT is going to talk about, the Rand Thanagar Holy War. But if you're going to read any Adam Strange stories, there are two, not one, but two that I will recommend. I've already talked before on other podcasts that we've had about 52. That series is amazing. And the storyline with Animal Man, Buddy Baker, Starfire, and Adam Strange trying to come back to Earth after having a major battle where Adam Strange has lost his eyes is an excellent storyline and keeps in the sci-fi tradition of the space saga. And then, of course, the latest incarnation, which I'll talk about in just a minute. But I want to hear what you guys think about Adam Strange.
I have to say a couple of things. First of all, I'm always surprised, and this just reminded me how late in the game the Rocketeer came about, because he feels like a pulp action hero, and he's just not. He's like a mid-'80s action hero. And then just the similarity of this creation, because we have John Carter of Mars doing very similar things in the early, 1920s? Like late teens? Right around there, Edgar Rice Burroughs?
Yeah, this is definitely like a combination of Flash Gordon and John Carter. I mean, it's kind of a blatant little ripoff, I think.
I didn't read a lot of the any of the Adam Strange stuff, and I didn't make it deep into Rebels after Legion sort of shut the doors. I tried.
Yeah, it was not.
It was not
It's
good.
not good. It was
Can
not good.
confirm.
And then the only other real exposure I had with him is from I actually kind of liked the Krypton TV show.
Yeah, he was on. We forget he was on that.
And didn't get renewed. So I was like, well, am I gonna watch this to fruition, be frustrated by a show that's never gonna get picked up? No, I'm not. So I just stopped watching.
Yeah, his live action appearance was in Krypton. He also appears in the Young Justice series. When they're looking for an alien expert, they turn to Adam Strange. And he appears in one episode of Batman the Brave and the Bold also.
I remember that episode. It was really good.
Yeah, with Blue Beetle and Kendra Rowe.
Yeah, Dinosaur Island, right?
No, I thought it was an outer space adventure.
No, I'm thinking of something else. I'm thinking of the when the center comes back. That's 52. I like Adam Strange. I like that throwback feel. Like you said, he's not a Golden Age. He's a Silver Age hero, but he really does feel Golden Age to me. You know, with that the throwback ray. My favorite thing about all the Adam Strange comic books. So Zardoth set up this ray to send out this pulse of a signal. So that's how he gets transported to Rand by these Zeta rays. And it wears off in sometimes 24 hours, sometimes much more. Long enough for him to marry Zardoth's daughter. So that's what the whole thing was actually about, I think. Just trying to find some D for his daughter. Because most of the planet was...
Mutants.
Yeah. Because of nuclear war. But if you read some of the comics, it's usually like Adam Strange standing on a beach waiting for the Zeta Ray. And it's like 2 panels of him like, all right, almost, like waiting for a bus. And then the Zeta Ray hits him and boom, he's on the planet Rand. And then, it wears off and he has to wait for the next Zeta Ray. And like in a couple comic books later, he'll be in a cafe in New York City. He's like, excuse me, I really need to sit in this booth. And like he'll ask everyone to move. Like, I'll pay for your dinner. I'll pay for everything. Just, we really have to, time isn't a factor. So he gets everyone out of this booth and he sits in the booth and bam, he's back on Rand. For some reason, that really captured my imagination. I really liked, because I was always thinking to myself, what if it's in a bank vault this time? Or I think one time he did have to pull off a heist. He had to break into a gangster's house and like be in the upper bedroom, like the daughter's bedroom or something crazy. Hey.
There was one comic he literally jumped off a building.
Yes, that's it. Like, all right, I better time this well. Yeet.
Yeah, and in some of those early comics, he would have to like do all these crazy calculations to figure out where the ray was going to be, and he'd have to like charter a plane and be in exactly the right longitude and latitude. And you're like, he's an archaeologist. He's not a mathematician. This is before smartphones and computers. And he was doing all this crazy stuff. And you're like, how come nobody else got dumped on Rand?
Well, let me just add one thing. Other people did get on Rand because it does happen in a couple comic books. And also, he does benefit from, and Mike, I don't know if you mentioned this, he has an eidetic memory. Which is a pretty good power for someone who has...
I dump on Ayn Rand all the time, if that helps.
Yeah.
This is a side.
Yeah, no, it's a good aside. Okay. Tommy, so are you going to talk about the Thanagar War? I mean, that's
so yeah, Rand Thanagar War. I mean, that was a brief comic book series where Hawkman's world decides to take over Rand, and it was one of the few times where Hawkman and Hawkgirl, or Hawkwoman, decide to not side with Thanagar. They actually go against Thanagar because they felt that they were in the wrong on that, and sided with Adam Strange on that. And it was I don't know, it was just it wasn't that great of a comic, I don't think. Even though it was kind of pivotal in the DC universe and in Hawkman's storyline, I didn't think it was that great of a story. So I wasn't really going to talk about it, but apparently you guys want me to.
Well, I've heard you bitch about it before, so I assumed you were going to bring that up as your series. Is there another series that you've read?
No, I just, I mean, in general, I like the old style Silver Age books for their simplicity and what they're going to do. I just like the artwork was really great in those books. And it was just kind of if you're looking for like just a, mindless science fiction to read, that they were always good for it. And they were very simplistic, mindless science fiction because it made no sense at all.
One thing I'd like to add there is I'm a huge fan of one and done comic books, an adventure in every comic book, and this format was perfect for it because you get zapped around, have an adventure, and then the Zeta Wave would wear off and he's back to Earth.
Yeah,
you really didn't need a big story arc to enjoy these things because he was only on Rand for a limited time, had one adventure and went back. So I love the one issue hits, boom, and those were perfect for that.
That's right. Just boom with Alana, and he was done and back on Earth.
Damn Scrippy.
Yeah, he needed to go get some cigarettes down at the corner convenience store. You know what I'm talking about.
He didn't even know
superhero version of Quantum Leap.
Yeah. He didn't even know he had a baby daughter for the longest time. That was a huge story arc. He thought his wife had died, and he wasn't even going to go back to Rand because his wife and his daughter were dead. And then, of course, it's a comic book. They're not dead. Now I got to go back to Rand.
Well, speaking about being dead.
Yeah.
All right. Months ago, I ranted and raved about Strange Adventures, saying, you're not reading it. You are wrong. Well, it's time to talk about how awesome and the greatest Adam Strange comic book is. And that is Tom King, Mitch Gerardis, and Doc Shanner's Strange Adventures. It really captures the essence of the man of two worlds because even though Tom King is doing all the writing, Doc Shanner, whose art style is very Silver Age and crisp. If you're watching the video, you can see it, and Mitch Gerardis is not. It looks very bleak. So the story is set in present time DC universe.
I just want to mention that when Josh has this thing up like this, we don't see anything behind Josh when he does this or this. For his background.
So, yeah, if you're a fan of the deconstruction of a hero, this is a perfect comic book for you because it's a comic book about the white savior and colonization and also delves deep into the mythology of what heroes are and how they can be and what their downfall could possibly be. It's an excellent story. If you are thinking about reading it, give me 2 minutes to spoil the shit out of it for everybody else and then start listening. Starting now. Earth is being invaded by a group of aliens that Adam Strange has already defeated on the planet Rand. So they call upon Earth's hero, Rand's hero, Adam Strange, to lead the defenses of the Justice League and all of the other Earth heroes against this alien invasion. Yet somehow, they're losing the war. Mr. Terrific is hired to clear the name by Batman to clear Adam Strange's name. And Mr. Terrific finds out that Adam Strange is a fucking piece of shit liar. He sold out Earth in order to save Rand from the invading force. Where he gave up his daughter as collateral, but lied to his wife Alana to tell her that she died when actually he gave her up to the aliens to make sure he would lose Earth. So Mr. Terrific finds all this out. It's a rescue mission after that with him and Alana to go rescue the daughter, and in the end, Adam Strange can't take the fact that he was tortured by the aliens and broken to betray Earth, and is no longer the hero that he thought he was, or his wife thought he was, or ran, or Earth, and he commits suicide. It is a bleak, fucking brilliant comic. And Mr. Terrific's awesome.
Yep.
No, seriously. You finally get to see the smartest man on Earth as the smartest man on Earth. That's why Batman hires him, because Batman's like, oh, yeah, this dude's fucking smarter than me.
He's the smartest man on earth.
You fucking met this guy?
And Batman was trying to hire him to clear Adam Strange's name. So clearly one of them was smarter than the other. Greatest detective, he kind of missed one there.
I liked in the series when Mr. Terrific goes to Ron to look at the video history of the war. And they're like, oh, well, we can't show you the alien side of this because they're too barbaric. We've never been able to translate it. Nobody knows the language. And Mr. Terrific's like, I know the language. I taught myself on the way here.
Yeah. Took me 25 minutes and a box of Pop-Tarts.
So LT,
with the sugar,
right?
I'm on like issue 5.
Oh, I just spoiled the shit out of it.
That's fine, Mike. It's fine.
It's a good series, though.
It is a good series, but I really loved that particular part of it where Mr. Terrific's just like, yeah, you guys are so hot. Yeah, I'm able to figure out how to translate this. I got it down. Show me the video. I'm ready.
Yeah, actually, it's Adam Strange who hires or who asks Batman to clear his name, and Batman asks Mr. Terrific to do it instead, because Batman is like, I'm Batman. I got too much other stuff going on.
So he goes to the hired help? I don't like that part of it.
Batman says, I'm biased. I know you. Let's get somebody that doesn't know you, that's unbiased, that can do this.
Yeah, Batman and Adam Strange are friends. They've had adventures together. So even if he clears them, it doesn't look like it's a valid clearing of his name.
Yeah, you need an independent...
Yeah, you need an independent investigation.
Thank you.
So, he gets one.
Oh, you don't want it.
He gets it.
But, I mean, all the things he did under duress. I mean, it was all torture.
Yes.
Yeah.
I understand how he can't live with it. I understand how he condemns himself. I even understand, why he can't live with it. But, it was all under duress.
He had a lot of he committed a lot of war crimes during the battle for Ran, and then even afterwards.
If you Google Adam Strange, by the way, the third thing that comes up is Adam Strange a war criminal? And I'm like, all right, I think this is worth reading if we're going to go into Adam Strange. So I did. So I know what we're talking about here, because I didn't read this particular run, and it did spoil the shit out of all those for me. He made some very tough choices, and I think some of those choices are choices that he should have made. But I think it was the torture and everything that really put him over the top for the things he couldn't live with.
Yep.
In my humble opinion.
Yep, but the artwork is outstanding, and the writing, as always, Tom King just fucking nails it.
The artwork is beautiful. It's a little grim for me, but it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful in its darkness. Any last words on Adam Strange?
I think he's got one of the cooler costumes in the DC universe.
Yeah.
I can't believe we didn't mention him in helmets, masks, and hats.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, we missed an easy one there. Adam Strange does have a cool helmet.
He's got a very crisp design.
Yeah.
And yet we talked about the knockoff. We talked about the Rocketeer.
Yeah.
When I call the Rocketeer a knockoff, the Rocketeer was so many things.
But I mean, it's clearly a combination of Flash. The Rocketeer is clearly like a combination of Flash Gordon and Adam Strange and all of that, and sort of a steampunkish version.
Yeah, but Adam Strange himself is absolutely 100% Flash Gordon and John Carter, Warlord of Mars. So I mean,
Yeah.
derivative. A lot of things.
Everything's derivative.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of what DC and Marvel do is derivative of other things. So
Yeah, I still can't believe the Rocketeer was the 80s.
yeah,
Well-
it was so well done as a period piece.
Yeah.
But
That it
I
felt
mean,
like
it was
just done
meant to
earlier.
be in the 20s. I mean,
right,
they
yeah,
made
no,
it. Look,
I get
it's like
that. Yeah, I get that they projected it back, but I just felt like it should have. I feel like it should have derived back then, and they brought it back around or something. I don't know.
And there were Rocket Men. I remember watching some serials with the really shitty backpacks.
Oh yeah, I remember old serials where there were like the Nazis with jetpacks. Yeah.
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 2022, man. We really should all have jetpacks by now.
Seriously.
I know the cell phone is pretty cool. I mean, that's a supercomputer in our hand.
Yeah.
Definitely, almost the mother box. But I want a jetpack.
Or a flying car. Where the fuck is my flying car?
Yeah, those flying
Yeah.
cars are going to be so freaking loud, though.
They're bullshit.
All right, moving on. Mikey, what do you got at the front of the long box for me?
At the front of the long box, I'm going to take you over to Sean Phillips and Ed Brubaker and Michael Lark's Scene of the Crime. Years before Brubaker got into DC Comics and had his run on Gotham Central and Batman, before he did Daredevil, before he started getting all of his Eisner Award nominations for Criminal and the like, he has this book, P.I. Jack Harriman has seen too many dead bodies, but that's his family curse because his uncle is the most famous crime scene photographer since Wee G. Reeling from a case gone wrong, Jack tackles a missing persons job that should be easy, but instead leads straight into the secrets and lies of a bizarre death cult. It's called Crime Scene. In the opening credits by Brian Michael Bendis talks about how he and Ed Brubaker and Greg Rucka all broke into comics at Caliber and learned that you should be paid for your work. So they all went over to Marvel and DC afterwards. But Ed Brubaker's everything that he writes, I love. This is, again, a noir book set in modern times. It's a classic. If you want a Rockford Files comic book to just curl up to, go ahead and check this out. It's going to make you feel like you're just watching an episode of the Rockford Files or some 70s or 80s detective show. Scene of the Crime.
And those crime scene books had brilliant pulp covers to them.
Yes.
I mean, they were just beautiful, beautiful painted pulp covers to them.
Yeah, my dad used to buy the, even in the 80s and 70s and 80s, he was still buying crime pulp magazines. They were small, like digest versions with really cool hardcover.
Yeah.
I love those old, some of them were so cheesy, but so much fun to look at. You know, there's like a dame in the corner, like screaming, and like a shadow of a guy with a knife or something like that. I just love those covers.
Yeah, that format, like the old Amazing Stories.
Yeah.
Love those.
Just brings you back, that nostalgia feeling. Plus the artwork's beautiful. I mean, there's nothing not to like there.
Yeah, my favorite the Amazing Stories. There's a guy does a story where an F-15 has to fight a dragon. It's my favorite. It's one of my favorite short stories of all time. Love it.
I like the one where they're belly landing the B-52 bomber, and the guy's stuck in the cockpit, and he draws the wheels.
That is not Amazing Stories.
Not
that. No, that is.
That's Steven Spielberg Presents Amazing Stories.
Is it?
I'm
No.
90%. I'm 80% sure.
Yeah, it's something like that. I know what you're talking about, and I remember when they put it in the movie.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's Amazing Stories.
I could be wrong. I know
Well,
it shows up in the Twilight Zone, one of the not Twilight Zones or one of the other ones, but I was pretty sure it was a short in Steven Spielberg Presents Amazing Stories.
I'll look it up.
Could be wrong. Tommy, what do you got at the back of the long box?
I don't have anything in the back of the long box because I was working this weekend. So I unfortunately don't have anything.
Tommy, were you in White River Junction?
I was in White River Junction.
I was right next door, man. So a little. I'll instead of the back of the long box, I'll say Tom had an adventures time. So there was an SCA event called the Isles of something or other, and it was Isles of March, and it was pre-reg only. And his wife said, "Tom, you can't get in." So I'm like, "All right, look, I consider myself at least a third level thief in real life, at the very least. And if I can't bluff or sneak my way into an SA event, I got no fucking reason to call myself a thief." So I snuck into the event. I had a great time. Saw some old friends, saw a bunch of SCA friends. The only guy that almost ratted me out was a prick that I don't like named Donovan. You know Donovan?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, of course you know Josh. Your eyes perked up. You know Donovan?
Of course I know Donovan.
So I had the mask on the entire time, and he was eyeing me up and down going, "This son of a bitch isn't even the SCA anymore." And I had my mask on, so he didn't quite know who I was because he hadn't seen me in like 10 years. But he was going to rat me out at any second. I kept avoiding him, and he kept following me and staring at me. I'm like, oh, man, I can't get outed. I'm going to lose a whole level if this white outs me. So I avoided him as best I could. I spent a lot of money at the event. The person who was running the event, I actually went out of my way to give the gate fee to. Like, hey, I came in, but there was a problem with my PayPal, and I don't think I paid the gate fee. Can I just give it to you? She's like, oh, that's really nice of you, because I'm not a dick. I'm just sneaky. So I wanted to pay the gate fee. So I gave him my $15. So I felt, cleared on that part. And had a great time. It was great seeing some old SCA friends. Saw Jocelyn. You guys remember Jocelyn?
Yeah.
She's doing great. She's still a nurse. Her kids are doing great. Little Sam is about to get his PhD. What the crap? Right? Her daughter is a prop master on Broadway. Yep. It's great. It was great seeing everybody. So that was my little adventure. I wore my pirate mask and I snuck past gate. Like, oh, hey, how you doing? No, I'm just carrying a box. I'll be right back. And just went in. Like, come on. I can't get busted for this. Nice.
Well played, sir.
Thank you.
Nice.
All right, I guess that all that was kind of tangential on me, but Josh, you got a tangent?
Yeah, okay, so we're talking about sort of like the future tech and that sort of balance between 1915 stories, a guy who's set in the 50s, and Rocketeer came out in the 80s. If you had to pick two pieces of technology, one you think we should actually have at this point in time, like something society should have already done and mass produced and be fine with, and then one that's like sci-fi'd out, what two pieces of technology would you pick? One that's kind of got to be present-ish, one way out.
For way out, I'll say the replicator.
It's a good one.
That's way out there.
That is
but
way out
man,
there.
I wish we could get that because that would solve so many problems. It just takes mass and changes it into other mass. We can change dirt into chocolate pudding. Chocolate pudding. It just makes everything so much easier when it comes to balancing our wants, needs, and resources.
It's true.
We're almost there. We got the 3D printers. We just
the
substance.
The important part about the replicator is it removes rarity from cost of goods, right? So everything really becomes a neutral cost.
Yeah.
Right? If you can
economy goes away.
Yeah. If you can turn sand into diamonds, right? Or anything into gold, like all that stuff loses its value and society just sort of normalizes on like a very basic standard of of
Yeah.
material and technology. That's a great one. That was going to
yeah.
be mine too. So
Yeah, there's very few things the replicator can't replicate. Some very rare medicines in the Star Trek universe. Dilithium crystals is one of the few things it can't replicate. There are very few things that it can't replicate. So that really just frees up society to do, more things. It's like in medieval times when we had enough food that not everybody had to be a hunter-gatherer farmer. Now we can have a priest and a soldier, and I mean, it led to its own problems. I understand that. But as a historian, it was that extra food that allowed us to have some other occupation besides, holy shit, let's survive.
Yeah.
We really should
nice
have.
Job.
Yeah.
We really should have zero emission vehicles by now.
Yeah, we kind of do, but we don't. We just don't do it.
They're just shitty.
Yeah, they're just shitty. We got to get them better.
Yeah.
Plus, they're not zero emission.
Right.
Water, come on.
No, because of what it takes to create their energy source to keep them around for that long, right?
Yeah.
So
True.
Mining the fuck out of heavy metals is not exactly.
The rare earth
zero
materials do absolutely negate the usefulness of these things.
Yep.
Mikey being awful quiet over there.
Still thinking.
I'm still waiting for sex robots.
You're on the wrong podcast, my friend. You really should be listening to our good friends.
All right, who'snextgaming.com?
Damn right. And we're not that far from sex robots, let me tell you.
I was going to say, I mean, we are pretty close to sex robots.
You just don't have the money for sex robot. Because
as soon as the technology comes available, let's face it,
the technology is available.
Be a way somebody's going to be like, how can I fuck this?
The technology is available. You just can't afford it yet. You're waiting for the technology to come back around because there are plenty of robots out there that people are having sex with. I've been to Boston Dynamics. You think those dogs are not being fucked? You are wrong, my friend. That's why they learned to run in the first place. Do you remember the first videos where the dogs could barely go up a flight of stairs, and now they're leaping up flights of stairs?
Are we coming right back down to the SNL thing? God damn it. How many sexually abused robots do we have to talk about on this goddamn podcast?
So far, two. It's not that big.
No,
I guess it's like murders and apples, right? Like 2 apples isn't a lot, but 2 murders is kind of a lot. And 5 apples still isn't a lot, but 5 murders is kind of really a lot. So I get what you're saying.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with the replicator too, and I'm gonna go kind of in the direction. I think we should be able to have a gasoline-less car that can go way further than a tank of a gasoline vehicle. More than 500 miles.
Yeah. We're getting there. 20 more years.
No, it's going to be earlier than that.
It's going to be earlier than that.
Good. I'm happy to be wrong.
And they're also working on batteries that won't rely so heavily on the heavy metals.
Yeah. Heavy metals. I'm looking forward to that. And my next car will probably be that. But I really like my Bronco.
A friend of mine just got the E-Mustang.
Yeah.
It's a nice ride.
Yeah. If we just had a better infrastructure of places to charge in, I really would have gone with a charging car. But even in Boston, it's just not that easy to charge
up. Right. You'd have to come out to Framingham, to the mall out by Framingham to charge up.
No, I got closer than that here in Boston, but Jesus Christ. Oh, you're just trying to lure me out to your house, which is in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, which I hate going to. Actually, I don't even mind going to Framingham. I mind going from Framingham to your house. Because the 20 more blocks it takes as much time as it takes to get to Framingham. But there is that good Mexican restaurant right up the street from you.
It is.
That's a lure. It really is. Those guys rock. They know what they're doing.
Are delicious.
Yeah, a piece of technology that I didn't think we'd have, by the way, that we do have, is the iPad. They've been using that in Star Trek forever, especially in the Next Generation. And I didn't think we'd have a handheld computer that was that good, that fast. And I'm really impressed. I'm still amazed by how good the iPad is and how much we can do on it.
Yeah,
But
I
I'm
didn't think it would be
I'm
that
simple.
useful.
It's so useful. I
It's
love
so
my
useful.
iPad.
At least it was until the Comixology upgrade.
Good point. An excellent point there, my friend. We're still on that. Just punching down, but okay.
Yes, we are.
We're not punching down. We're punching up. That's fucking Amazon. Like
That's a good point.
$100 billion a year company. Fuck that noise.
Fuck that noise.
That little mom and pop operation?
Yeah, you're punching down. What are you talking about?
I am gonna keep wasting their support dollars until they can fucking get their shitty app to work on my 5-year-old tablet.
That's right. You spent how many hours? 2 hours on the helpline trying to get them to install Comixology correctly.
Well, trying to get it to work. It installs. I've uninstalled it and installed it 5 times now. I've only been able to get one book to download.
Yeah.
In 5 installs.
90% of every data point of your entire life is stored on an Amazon server, so we're definitely not punching down.
Okay. I'll give you that.
And whatever direction you're punching, they've recorded it, noted it, and they're pointedly marketing something.
They got the tangent lines.
Yeah.
So,
one
other.
In another 3 weeks, they're probably going to realize that I haven't bought any more comics and realize that there's a problem.
One other bit of technology that I always kind of wanted was the holodeck, and I finally pulled the trigger. I bought myself an Oculus. Anyone have an Oculus?
Do you get the wireless one, the 2?
Yeah, Oculus 2.
Yeah. Okay.
So maybe I'll bring that down. It's in the mail. It's coming. Maybe I'll bring it down Saturday.
Yep, Violet has it. She uses it all the time.
She loves it. All right, good.
Yeah. Some cool games for it. Definitely.
I'm looking forward to Beat Saber finally being able to gamify a little workout. Boom, boom, boom. All right. I guess that brings us to plugs, guys. Who's got anything good to plug?
Well, I'd like to thank Kirby Crackle for providing our geek rock music every week. You can check them out at kirbycracklemusic.com. And if you're listening to this on YouTube, you're probably like, what music is he talking about? We have a podcast where I actually edit it. Yeah, that's a very loose interpretation of what I do. But we have music on our podcast available wherever podcasts can be had. And if you're listening to this podcast, we have a YouTube channel called the Longbox Guys, where we post videos. And if you want to see our faces, why you would want to do that, I have no idea. But if you're, other than to see the background that Josh always has, always relevant to the topic of discussion.
Always good.
And speaking of other podcasts, because we did mention who'snextgaming.com, they were just reviewing Batman, the Batman movie this week. I also got to plug another podcast. You can find it at patreon.com/the Longbox Guys. It's the Geek Leak, where every week we do a podcast. We do an extra bonus podcast for our Patreon only fans for a mere $1 a month. You can get access to that, and all the money that we make goes to the Elizabeth Peabody House for their food bank. So rather than just doing well today, you should be doing some good, and go ahead and subscribe to our Patreon.
Yeah, it's really worth it. I'd like to also plug our Twitter page. Don't forget to look at us on Twitter, where you can find links to some of the stuff we do and some of the conversations and jokes. And I want to promote my TikTok page, because I've been having a lot of fun on my TikTok page. I got up to about 5,000 followers already, so I'm having a good time with that. It's mostly about LARPing, gaming, and a little bit about the Elizabeth Peabody House. So you can go to LARP Like You Mean It on TikTok and see me be goofy. I'm good at being goofy.
Yeah. I'd like to promote Great Stories, Comics and Games, the comic shop that has moved in near my house. Can we? Nope.
Nope.
Sorry, YouTube. Suck a dick. But yeah, great stories here in Whitensville, Massachusetts. Come check it out.
I'd like to plug Geek Orthodox.
GeekOrthodox.com.
GeekOrthodox.com.
Hello, Tammy.
GeekOrthodox.com, purveyors of fine t-shirts and other geeky things, such as stained glass prints, Johnny Skywalker rocks glasses. You name it, they got it, GeekOrthodox.com.
Actually, they've got stained glass prints. If you want T-shirts, you got to go over to ianlino.com.
Put
It's
him in his
true.
place, Mikey.
Yeah.
God
Well-
damn it, Ian. Why you gotta make everything so complicated? What are you, Amazon?
What are you, Amazon? I binged it.
I binged it.
All right. And Mikey, tell us what this podcast is like to you.
It's like Drunk History, but for comic books.
And Josh, dear Josh, is Mike's house for game night this week. Your sector.
It will be. Yeah.
Damn
as long
right.
as long as I can fix the engines and set the course to Earth.
Hopefully. And Tommy, sweet Tommy, any last words?
Just want to echo what Mikey said. Just go out there and do some good. Don't do shitty things like Amazon.
Or Star
you know,
Wars.
Don't do shitty things like upgrade apps and force people to take those upgrades.
Star Wars better
Or
than
Star Wars.
No
Star
Wars.
Wars.
And don't forget what I always say, don't diss what you hate, just promote what you love. You live longer. Thanks a lot from the Longbox Guys.
Love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.